The views expressed on Teachavision are those of the interviewee and interviewer and do not represent Screenless Allies as a whole. Each sold separately, batteries not included, a dose assembly required, and other disclaimers on television you've heard all the time apply here as well.
Hello there, and welcome to Teachavision, episode number 11, where everyone has a different vision of learning. My name is Jose Briseño, and before we start this special podcast, I want to thank everybody for listening to Teachavision. We don't do the subscriber thing, we go via plays. So whether you've listened to the same episode, whether you've played all our episodes, thank you very much for listening to the podcast. In today's podcast, we're going to do something a little different. A few months ago, I did a presentation over blindness to a special populations class, that is an education class, at a community college here in Borger, Texas, called Frank Phillips College. This class aims to demonstrate and teach all about special education for students with disabilities in the classroom. Whether it's blindness, being deaf, etc., this class covers it all. I was fortunate to cover the blindness unit rather than the class learning through a textbook. Thank you to Miss Cheryl Webster, the teacher of the class, for allowing me to record this presentation in podcast format. However, since the presentation is quite long, I actually put together a highlight file to demonstrate all the things I present about. Keep in mind, this is only one opinion. I again want to thank the special populations class for allowing me to present. In this presentation, I covered the basics of what a teacher of the visually impaired is, looking through old technology, and of course, how to use a computer and a phone when you're totally blind. And now, on with today's presentation on Teachavision by Screenless Allies.
Jose Briseño is a good friend, and he was a student back in the day. He's got a podcast that you probably see if you're on the Facebook group for Education Club, and we'll be recording a podcast today. Jose does presentations for Region 16 and for schools and all kinds of programs, and we are really fortunate to have him with us today. Thank you so much for coming.
Oh, not a problem. I want to thank my supervisor actually for letting me do this too. I do a little bit of everything. So if you dial and if you press pound and you want to take out your anger on somebody, I'm most likely the one that'll answer that phone call. So and I'll direct you to call to whatever department you need to go to. But I also do data entry, computer support. I do quite a bit of everything. But I have an associate's in general studies, and I do continue to do presentations to this day. So I'm still doing those, and I'm actually very grateful that Ms. Webster continues to rely on me. I'm surprised she hasn't gotten tired of me after a couple of years of doing this. I'll definitely be covering your blindness unit. So this is where normally I would read out of a textbook, but Ms. Webster decided why not just get somebody that actually knows about this thing and get up there and do it themselves. But let's start off with the first things first about the blind student. So the blind student, just like your ordinary student, except that they have different accommodations. So one of you guys said pre-K. Who said pre-K again? I'm sorry.
Shelby.
Yes. You said pre-K. Okay, so you actually get to start working with the blind students at a very early age.
Yes.
At that time, they learn about exploration. So you'll see them in your class, but you'll have a teacher in there. A lot of the time, they're called the teachers of the visually impaired. This is actually important for all of you guys. There's a teacher out there called the teacher of the visually impaired who actually will go into the class and make it more accommodating. So, for example, on assignments, they make them in Braille for them, or in electronic format nowadays, because back in my day, we actually read it in Braille, but nowadays, it's all electronic format now. And these whippersnappers, let me tell you, it wasn't easy back then, let me tell you that. Which also means that you, the teacher, need to be prompt with your assignments. I've had a lot of teachers that have had issues with uploading lesson plans and things like that. Let's get some predictions. How long in advance do you guys think should an assignment be given to one of these teachers?
3 weeks in advance.
Perfect. Yes, 3 weeks in advance. A month in advance if possible. If you can even get them at the beginning of the year, if you can get them all the assignments for that year with deadlines, even better. Because then they don't have to worry about chasing you down and going, hey, where's my lesson plan? Hey, I'm waiting for your lesson plan. because then it makes you look a little bad because then the student is going to have to wait and things like that. Now, this teacher is not there to do the work for you. They're not there to do the teaching for you. They'll only teach what is the Braille related, any of the blindness related skill. It's still your job to teach the actual subject. So if it's math, you're still teaching math, but you're going to work with these teachers to make it more accessible and more interactive for the student to be able to do that. And that's either in Braille or in print. The Perkins Braille Writer. I don't know if you've ever seen one of those, but think of it as a Braille typewriter. So how many of you have seen a typewriter before?
I have.
Okay, so think of it as a typewriter. You put paper in there and you had the keyboard. So that you see the 6 keys on the keyboard right there, and then the ones to the left and right of the 6 keys, that was used for paper feeding and backspacing. And then you had the return knob on top, just like a typewriter. That was what you used, and you had a lot of paper, and it was a lot of fun trying to get the paper out of the machine when it jammed. So you had to just, to get it out. It's still used in math, and here's the fun fact about that is that when you're done creating a Braille copy of that, they have to translate it. They have to, what's called translating it, so the TBI has to actually write down what the Braille says, and they actually take these special classes to do so. On the computer, we use the keyboard to control everything. So I'm on my desktop, and I'll show you how to navigate. So I use the arrow keys to navigate to the desktop.
Scholarship application form docs 47 of 52, project 11301, file 20 docs for fall 2020,
there's that.
schedule 20,201,112, campus sex crimes prevention act for website 2019.pdf.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that was a thing nowadays.
2020 capstone assessment table, Rev 219, docs 20 of 50.
So I use the arrow keys to navigate. Now I'm going to go into a Word document. So let's say you said, okay guys, get out a pencil and paper. The student will go in here, and you can do it in many ways, but I do it this way. I run and type in WinWord.
Text on desktop list, 2020 capstone assessment table, Rev document 1 word, home grouping good morning, new grouping list, blank document, blank
good morning.
Alt F H Y 214.
Alright, so I want blank document.
Microsoft Word document edit multi-line page 1 section 1 blank.
Okay. So now I have, as you can hear, I don't hear anything when I type. I actually like it this way because I already know what I'm typing. But I'll go ahead and turn
type characters on.
Turn it on here for you so you can hear it.
T-H-I-S.
That high-pitched
T
is a capital letter.
T.
So on the Braille display, you'll see it in the different letter, and we'll get to that in a second. But there's the T.
Speak type word.
Let me go on until turn on the words on too so you can hear that.
I-S is A space T-E-S-T test space O-N on space U-N-I-N-G using space A-A-O-M-E-T T-Y-U U-T-E-R I-T-H with A-A-S-C-R-E-E-N screen R-E-A-D-E-R reader dot.
Alright, and I can just press an up arrow or down arrow, whatever key I want to use.
This is a test on using the compute with a screen reader.
Oh, well, no wonder.
Reader, screen A with compute.
Now use Control left arrow to move that cursor through the words.
O-M-P-U-T-E space.
And I'll just type in an R. There we go. Now I can press Control Home to move back up again.
This is a test on using the computer with a screen reader.
So if I want to move by letter,
T.
I can just use the left and right arrow keys by themselves.
H-I-S space I-S space A space E-E-S-T space O-N space U-S-I-N-G space A space C-O-M-P-U-T-E-R.
And that's how you can do that. So that's and I can save the document by pressing Control S if I wanted to, Control O, anything like that. I can also do selections, copying, pasting, like normal with just different keyboard commands. So that is how you would write a Word document. Now it can definitely be more elaborate, but that's how you can do that. I can also browse the web the same way, just with the same keyboard commands, and also look through emails. So any questions so far?
Do the students who use that typing program, do they often wear headphones?
Yes.
To use it? Okay.
Either that or they'll use Braille without the voice.
Oh, okay.
So they do wear headphones. Now, most of the time, they will wear it on one ear so that way they can hear you speak as well. Because if they're taking notes, that'll be the best way to do that. You can either give them the slides, like in a Word document, and they can navigate that, and take notes over that, hopefully. Or you can just speak and make sure that they only have one headphone on and listen to you at the same time. So remember, communication with your student is key. So don't go up to the TBI and go, he's not taking notes. I don't know what I'm going to do about it. Unfortunately, I had that issue in school where rather than talking to me, they talked to the teachers that worked with me. And if you want to make a good relationship with your student, you want to talk to them and not the teacher. So, all right, so this is a slow voice, okay? I do not use this in that slow voice. I do not. It's just too slow for me. So, I'm going to show you how fast I use this voice.
Rate 45. This is a test on using a computer with a screen reader.
That's how fast I typically use it.
This is a test on using a computer with a screen reader.
This is her favorite part. I have a friend of mine. I have a friend who actually, his name is Edgar. And he actually does not use it this fast. He goes faster than that.
Rate 60. Rate 70. Rate 70. This is a test on using a computer with a screen reader. This is a test on using a computer with a screen reader.
Anyone understand that? No? No?
So that's how he browses the web or what?
Yep. That's how he browses the web, reads the book. Here, I'll navigate the desktop. New folder. Yeah. So, oh yeah, and then I forgot to mention too, he told me that I wasn't doing this right, so now I have to lower. There's also one thing that he also does. He lowers the voice pitch too. So that's how he uses that. So it sounds all creepy, I know. But that's how you essentially use a Windows computer. Now I'm going to go back to my regular pitch and regular rate because I don't... There we go. That looks better. I can flick right with one finger.
Jose's Apple Watch 95% charged.
And I have the battery widgets and things like that going on here on my home screen.
Settings. Entertainment folder, 25 apps. Social folder, 16 apps. Productivity folder, 25 apps. Social folder, 16 apps.
And I can flick left. So if I want to tap on an item, I double tap on it.
Social, headed messages.
Alright, and I can just, and there's my messages.
Mail, no unread emails. Facebook, FaceTime, phone, Hangouts, Skype, Hangouts, phone, FaceTime, Facebook.
And that's space, that's how I can do that. And I can double tap on that item. Or I can use the Braille display itself. And to do that, I can go ahead and I can use the arrow keys.
Mail,
The left and right arrow.
Messages, mail, Facebook, FaceTime, phone, Hangouts, Skype, Hangouts, phone, FaceTime, Facebook, mail,
Is this
messages.
like a Bluetooth connecting?
Yes, it is. Yes, ma'am. All right, so now, Ms. Webster,
Yeah.
you can message me whatever you wish.
Oh, okay.
How you love polka so much, whatever. It's up to you. She got me into that genre, by the way. And I'll show you how I receive messages. Now, you won't see this in schools. You'll see an iPad, but it's the same functionality. You'll see them more on like Office for iPad, Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides. You will never see them texting in class. I mean, there is that one population that, they do have a Braille display and they don't have to worry about anyone looking at them because they can make the screen dark, like this.
Screen curtain on.
And the screen's dark, and I can turn off my voice,
Speech off.
and I can look at my messages this way. So I'm still using my phone, but nothing's visible, but I can still read what's going on here. Frankie Yankovic is the Polka King! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. See? But now I'll turn on speech here and turn on and make it light here.
Off.
So I'm going to go back to that message and have
Cheryl Webster, Frankie Yankovic is the Polka King. 4 exclamation marks. 10:36 a.m. Message received from Cheryl. Jose is presenting to special populations class. 3 beaming face with smiling eyes emoji. Face with wide open eyes and flushed cheeks emoji.
So there you go. Now, there are plenty of ways I can interact with that message. I can either
Apps, message, text,
double tap on this,
insertion, Braille screen input,
and I can go to Braille screen input, and you can turn the Braille display around so I can look at what's about to happen. I'm going to start typing in Braille on my screen.
is a test on using real screen input.
And then I can just flick down with 3 fingers
Sent message.
Got it.
like that.
Oh.
Or I can go on the Braille display and do
This is a test on using the and this space.
oh, and I misspelled it. Now I can either delete it the same way,
And a
or I can use one of these buttons above the cell. So notice where the blinking cursor is at for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Now, watch this.
This is a test on using the
It moved to the very top, to the very beginning. So let me go back
the
and go space it out there,
space
and then type in,
mantis
and then hit enter.
sent message.
And I got it.
I can also dictate, but I rarely dictate. I can also tell Siri to do the same thing. It just depends on the situation.
Thank you for joining us for this edition of Teachavision by Screenless Allies. We'll see you on the next one. Meanwhile, you can check out our website at screenlessallies.com. SCREENLESSALLIES.com. Check out our Facebook, facebook.com/ScreenlessAlliesOfficial. And most importantly, please tell your friends about us. And if you have any suggestions or comments or questions, you can definitely email those to info@screenlessallies.com. We'll see you next time, and thank you for listening.